This is 21 Next. I'm Joel D. Smith. It is Monday, January 5th. We're coming off of the weekend. The big international news of Venezuela's President Maduro has been brought to justice in the United States. There's a lot of people talking, in particular, the Hispanic community in our area. And that's what TJ Anthony is checking out today. He went to Lancaster to talk to some folks there. And people are definitely talking about this one. Start us off with who you sought out for your comments today that you were trying to get.
Yeah, so right now, really all eyes are on the United States, especially as the president of Venezuela made his first court appearance today in a Manhattan courtroom. He did plead not guilty. Now, I spoke with Esther D. Woody. She's the president of the Lancaster Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and she, like so many people, were just really shocked to learn about the news of the United States capturing Venezuela's president over the weekend on Saturday overnight.
So he had been indicted before, so there was that lingering. But I think the surprise was still going into another country and trying to implement that and then bring him back to justice from the U.S. point of view on this. When it comes to the legality of this, is that the biggest concern people are talking about? Or is it what it means for their family members? Take us through some of their concerns.
I mean, really, she says she's not seeing a lot of worry, just a lot of mixed emotions regarding the capture. I mean, some see this as freedom because of the headlines and allegations really surrounding Maduro of corruption and undermining democracy. And others simply, they just don't want the U.S. involved. You see people protesting right there in that video that we just showed you. People were holding up signs in cities across the United States that say hands off Venezuela. So there's other worry about what's going on in terms of, resources. We saw that there were lines of people going to the grocery stores and stuff, really stocking up in Venezuela. Also, what does this mean for their country in terms of how this will run? Because the U.S. said they will be somewhat possibly involved with running it, according to a press conference from Trump over the weekend.
So let's quantify the other part of this. We've seen the protest. We've also seen celebrations in the streets there. So for the people that have those emotions, why was this such a joyous day for some?
Yeah, as I previously mentioned, this is seen as for some a sign of freedom for them because of the headlines and allegations surrounding Maduro of corruption and the allegations of him undermining democracy as well. So really, there's two sides to this. And I also want to mention, we did see the U.S. show a sign of force in waters in the ocean close to Venezuela off the coast for weeks before this. So, there were certain signs, but there weren't indications necessarily that all of this was going to take place over the weekend.
Yeah, a little more background for folks that might not be caught up. He did lose the election in 2024, but he refused to accept the results. And the person who won actually went into hiding. So the question is, should that person be brought out to now be the rightfully elected person in charge, because now the people in charge are still supporters of Maduro. So that part complicates things even more as we look at the political fallout of this. More so, though, for the people that you talked to, the person you talked to today, what do they want to see next? What would ease some of the concerns of the folks that they're in contact with?
Really, she said the main thing she wants to see is just for the people to be okay in Venezuela and in other countries surrounding Venezuela. She wants to make sure that they have resources, that they're good with groceries, supplies, all of that as people continue to take items off the shelves and really stock up now. And the president I spoke to with the Lancaster Hispanic Chamber of Commerce said that they are ready, if need to collect supplies and donations to send over to those in Venezuela and other countries surrounding that.
Yeah, one of the policies, not a policy, but more of the reality of when regime change comes in, it's kind of the term that some have used is you break it, you buy it. And so if you are the one that implemented change, the fallout you're somewhat responsible for. And so it's interesting to see how much America will be a part of the solution moving forward to ease some of those concerns you're talking about, whether it's safety or whether it's just having those essentials to get by, how involved the U.S. will be. But those are some of the political things moving forward. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I also do want to mention other countries are chiming in about this as well. I mean, this is really something that the whole world is watching. The United Nations held an emergency meeting today as some countries were voicing their concern about that military operation. So really, there's a lot of things that and factors that people are watching, countries are watching, and still a lot to be determined moving forward.
Well, and that's the other thing is it set a precedent because, you could say if you're China and you've had this ongoing conflict with Taiwan all these years, then all of a sudden you go into Taiwan and take an aggressive action by seizing a leader there. They could say, well, the U.S. just did that in your hemisphere. This goes way back to the Monroe Doctrine, way back in the day, where it was, things happening in our hemisphere affect us, so we have the right to, be involved. The folks that are backing the president on this say that, Russia and China have really been a stronghold in Venezuela, and we don't want them in our part of the world. And so this cleans that up as well. So, hey, the fallout's going to be significant from this, but we want to get some local reaction to this. Why don't you sum it up for me one more time, TJ, some of the things you heard today?
Really, I mean, the president of the Lancaster Hispanic Chamber of Commerce said that overall, she was shocked, like so many, to hear about what happened. She said right now she's just seeing a lot of mixed emotions about everything and just a lot of feelings of uncertainty and just curiosity about what is ahead and what can be ahead, especially not only for the people of Venezuela, but also surrounding nations and really just nations and countries around the globe.
Yeah, it would be helpful if it was clear from the White House, okay, this happened. Here's why it happened. They were okay with that part. But now what's next? Instead of saying we're in control or we're going to keep an eye on things, how about in 10 days, this is going to happen, or within 30 days, that's going to happen? Like some benchmarks would clear things up for some of these folks, I think.
Yeah, no, that would definitely be great for them to hear some of that. I mean, we have seen the administration do a lot of press conferences about, what's expected. We also know that the vice president recently kind of took the realms and took charge of everything so far. So it'll be interesting to see how those dynamics play out and the country and Venezuela moving forward.
Yeah, and we'll get some more reaction as we move forward. There is a large Hispanic population in Lancaster County, especially in the city. Not necessarily Venezuelan, although there are some, but we got to be clear sometimes when we say Latino population or Hispanic population, because it is very segmented and they don't all feel the same way about every topic. So interesting to talk about this today. TJ Anthony, we appreciate you on that, and we'll look forward to your report a little bit later today.
Yep. We'll
see you then. All right, folks, it is 21 next. We're breaking down some of the geopolitical stuff for you and how it's affecting folks in our area. And we'll look forward to doing this as things progress to the next few days as well. I'm Joel D. Smith on 21 Next. We'll catch you next time.